turn to ban.
Did you know that?
See, that would be funny if we actually had any grandchildren.
Yeah, it really.
It's also the first ever panel to feature a child under 14.
Good one.
Got him.
Let's get to the draft, okay?
Let's get to the draft.
Stop joshing around
I mean,
here.
we could have bants all day with Kyle. I know we can.
We talked a lot about
there
the
goes the like.
ban. The hero I want to talk about is Chen. We've seen this banned and first pick by both EG and Liquid throughout the whole tournament. Are we going to see it here? How good is Chen? It feels like only a certain few teams pick him, and it's almost always banned against those teams.
Yeah. It's hard to say. I feel like it's all about preparation. We had a lot of discussion about Lycan before we came back from break. Obviously, it's banned, so it's not really relevant anymore. But if you look at the games EG was playing, they kept getting Lycan. But what felt wrong was that the teams didn't seem prepared for it. I saw like a first pick AA from Na'Vi into an immediate Lycan counter, and both of these teams are going to be very aware of Chen, so I don't think either one is going to get away. I think Sand King, I believe Rubik's banned, and Sand King's going to be what I would imagine could be a potential first pick. Just something stable. I think Liquid wants to keep their draft open because EG typically reveals at least one core in their opener.
I'm a big fan of the Rubik ban. I feel like that's just been a bit too good in EG's hands.
Is it still the most picked talent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rubik's still the most picked and gaudy record.
Yeah, the strongest part about for me with EG is it really enables that like aggro lane with Arteezy. It's probably the best support to have there because you've got this positioning tool. Telekinesis punishes positioning. In a 3v3 lane, positioning is key.
I did not even see. I actually can't see the bans. I need glasses.
It's okay.
Yeah, I've had the
we're
same
struggling
issue.
as well. Yeah. And there is the Chen TBO.
TB Chen. Oh my goodness. What a scary open.
I like Tiny terrifies me too, man. I'm a real big fan of the EG opener, but I mean, Liquid has proven they will first pick Tiny when available and beat you with it consistently. So I think Chen and Terrorblade, if you get the early pressure going, I think Tiny really struggles when you take his tier 1s.
Yes.
He's strongest when you have this threat of a tossback, and then if he can transition like early kills and gold into Blink Dagger, Shadow Blade, like whatever we
Hello.
Oof, all right.
Wow.
I want to show you this card.
What's that?
Some I have Tiny on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
GH by
That's what I
far
picked out.
the most
Easier game
successful
one
Wisp
draft.
player we've had in the pro ranks. 23-8 on that hero in his career.
But the only time he played it at this tournament, they lost.
Yep. True. He's only 3-3 in this patch. That's right.
However, if I'm not mistaken, I think the IO Tiny combo throughout like the history of Dota has over 70% win. It's by far the most successful hero combo.
It is. If you take the hero combo and you adjust the win rates relative to the heroes individually, it's no contest.
Yeah.
Turn to ban.
Yeah.
I really like Lycan and Chen against Wisp Tiny though. I think, or sorry, Terrorblade and Chen it's really the same concept as Lycan, where you apply pressure very early on before the relocate really comes online. You take towers early on, and you also do massive amounts of physical damage, and you have a hell of a lot of creeps, which Wisp has a very hard time dealing with. It's usually most effective when you have no ability. Like if you can't deal with the Wisp split push and IO Tiny can slow the game down and just kind of farm while also threatening, it's a lot scarier. But now you have Chen creeps that can be split pushing, illusions constantly shoving, and I feel like EG just has like an easier pathway to winning, but obviously we're only 2 picks in.
For the uninitiated and for those that are new to Dota, seeing as it's close to Super Bowl Sunday, think of Tiny IO as Tom Brady.
I don't know. Do you think
What do you mean you don't know?
Do you think EG leave ET in the pool here?
I think you can. I think Chen is Liquid's draft is already really, it's going to be slow, and if they pick ET, it's going to be even slower. However, that does put them in that position where if they win this one fight, they might just take the game, but I think...
I wonder if those two know which signs they're holding up next to each other.
I think they would have planned it that way. Interesting. I mean, it can really go anyway. I think EG just picks a solid support here. I can't see. Tusk is banned, right? Tusk is in
That's what I was looking at.
Tusk is definitely still alive.
Yeah.
They banned that.
As is Bane, which is no. They did take out Bane themselves.
Yeah,
Okay,
BH and Rubik were taken out over the Tusk.
I really like Tusk. I think that you just want something that enables the Chen. Snowballing with a creep is always effective, and Tusk is one of the few heroes with a lane mechanic. However, you have Chen, and since they made it so that you can send back creeps, it's really cool because you can do these I saw VP does this a lot, where or Solo will start mid, he'll block, send back the archer, TP tier 1 top, send back 2 creeps, and then go guard his hard camp, grab a creep, and go top. So you can effectively, you can effectively secure 2 lanes at once. So you don't really need the Tusk. They go Rasta
There's your
instead.
pushing support.
Yep.
Interesting.
Witch
Okay.
Doctor immediately.
And there's your, it's a counter to the Chen, and obviously.
Yeah, I like it a lot against Rasta too, because Rasta's usually trying to channel a grip, and the coconut will bounce to him.
Yes,
and it's just really annoying. All your spells have like a bit of a cast animation, so it's hard to channel properly when that goes down.
I know it's a support, Alan, but it's had a poor tournament.
Yeah, no, Witch Doctor's been really bad. He was 2-11 at one point. I can check the updated stats here in a second, but I think a lot of it though, when you look at the teams that have picked it, it was mostly SG, Penta, Planet Dog that had picked it.
Yeah.
I do think it's a decent pick here, especially against the Chen, an answer to the early roaming aggression. Now, Kyle, you have been a big Maledict Witch Doctor player. You had a game a couple weeks ago. You had 11k damage as Maledict, nobody else over 8 on your team.
Yep. It happens.
Is this a Maledict first game on the Witch Doctor?
I think you might want an extra point in Coconut and maybe 1 point heal, because it's just so value. With the Wisp tether, you're effectively healing like 3 heroes, and you're doubling the healing on the. You're actually. I don't want to do the math right now. I didn't go to college, but it's a lot of healing. Okay. The Omni Knight comes out. I'm not a huge fan of it into Witch Doctor, but the way I see it, EG recognizes they're going to hit this timing where they're going to have enough damage with just this Terrorblade, drums, Aquila, maybe a Wraith Band, Treads, and they're just going to pop meta, drop wards, go high ground. And if they can get that down like 15 minutes and have the ability to win a fight, I think they're going to be in a really strong position.
So the question is, do Liquid think that Underlord is a hard counter to Omni Knight, and can you take it when you already have the IO?
I think you can. I think they need they need a strength hero with heavy wave clear. I think Brewmaster is in the pool.
He's in.
Yeah, could be a choice, but it's just really difficult for him to have a laning phase. I think that they just need some wave clear. They need something that can stand to towers, preferably something that doesn't just feed to Chen rotations. And you got to be able to deal with illusions. So.
The other thing is, so the other theory of countering the Omni Knight is the old VP theory, where you take like an Ursa or a melee heavy hero that can just eat him in lane. I don't necessarily see that here. Okay, the Timber Saw.
Yep, same concept. Underlord, Timber Saw, they kind of fulfill the same purpose. I like Timber a lot more, just because wards aren't affected by Crimson Guard. Okay. So you can't buy, it's not as effective as you would want it to be, whereas obviously the reactive armor stacks are going to give him so much armor and HP that he can just effectively ignore the wards. And that's really what you need in this sort of game, is this hero that can just plant himself on a tower. They really have no method of killing him on EG at the moment, but so now it's pretty much what do they want to ban from Liquid. It'll probably be a Storm, a Tinker, or a OD ban.
But he's already out.
But he's already out?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, a lot of the mids in the pool are already out for both sides, the OD and the Death Prophet in particular.
I can see this being a nice puck game. EG typically loves puck. They have, in my opinion, one of the best puck players in the world in Smail.
It's likely to be Fear or Arteezy's here last because they've got the Omni.
That's true. It's a good point.
We have seen Fear play the TB once, which was when Arteezy, I think, was on a Storm.
So
that's definitely possible that they put Fear or Arteezy on the hero, but...
Yeah. So, I mean, I just got this weird premonition. It's Sumail playing Omni Knight, and he bought drums and then Radiance. Did you guys pick up on that?
What?
Yeah. Oh, in this game. It's going to happen in the future.
No, he's done that.
Every game.
Duh. Okay, good. All right. Ha, I didn't get the joke.
It's fine. It's okay. It just takes you a little longer than usual,
For a little longer period.
Morphling ban. The big kind of, I guess, hard carries that can go either safe lane mid. The Timbersaw is pretty flexible with his lanes, which is really nice this game for Liquid. Can literally go any of the 3 lanes, I feel like, against that draft and not be too worried.
I really like Timbersaw here. It's also a really great hero with Wisp. Heroes like Storm and Timber are great because they utilize both the health and the mana from Wisp. So they both accelerate and survive. And turning around, like, you're going to need to commit like 3 to 4 heroes to try and kill this Timber in order to get past him to his tower. And if a Wisp is there to save him, turn it around real quick with the Coconut, like that just might blow the game wide open.
Well, let's talk about lanes a little bit for Evil Geniuses, because both of these cores that they have so far, Tiny and Timbersaw, are cores that they've run in multiple lanes and multiple players.
Yeah.
I see this. I mean, right now I'd handicap it as the favorite would be a Matumba Tiny
Yeah.
and Mind Control Timbersaw.
Yeah,
But
I'm actually becoming a big fan of the offlane Tiny, but once you have Wisp, I think it's just too powerful of a combination
Exactly.
to squander by just throwing him into the offlane.
well, unless you want to aggro.
Yeah. You can't aggro, and you can't aggro into
Matu's Timber
Chen.
is fantastic. Like, that's kind of where I was looking more at him maybe playing the Timber.
You think you like Matu's Timber a little better than Mind Control?
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
think
good.
the
It's going to be Miracle Timber, guys. It's going to be a
Could be-
micro.
Yeah. Both Timber games this patch have been Miracle.
I could see them. This is a bit weird, but I could see them picking a Furion.
Liquid?
Yeah,
I like the Furion a lot.
Yeah, I think they want some method of actually killing towers so that they have the option to avoid one of these fights. Because right now they're kind of committed that they're going to need to defend nearly all of their towers. If they can just sacrifice one or two and get a trade alongside, like on the other side of the map, delay the game by 5-10 minutes, I think that's going to be really strong for them. And I think they could really also use something
wait
that
a
helps
minute.
with Roche.
Is this Tinker? Because it's just ban Zeus.
It could be.
Is this just straight out Tinker?
It is a great.
I don't see why you'd ban Zeus if you're not picking Tinker. Oh no, Pugna! Oh, oh my.
Yep. That gives them the tower pressure that they were missing.
And so both previous Pugna picks by Liquid were Mind Control Pugnas.
Yep.
Which I think. Wow,
Yeah,
what are the lanes?
It's Tiny Matumba, man.
Yeah, that's the.
Miracle Timber.
Yeah, Miracle Timber
And
and Mind Control Pugna.
Yeah, for sure.
It is really annoying to play Rasta into Pugna, and along with TB. to
And
an
that's
extent.
easy storm. Easy
Yeah.
storm.
Yeah.
It was Storm or Tinker. I think Storm's just a better pick here. I think if EG can get the BKB timing they're looking for, which isn't even relevant necessarily because he has Repel, a repelled Storm, they go for the Wisp or the Pugna. The Chen creeps, Rasta wards get dropped. I think if EG can win one or two fights, get a tower advantage, they'll take the game. But if Liquid get the Bloodstone up early on Timber, find a way of dealing with the Storm, I think they'll take it.
I think it's a beautiful storm game.
Yes.
I think RTZ is going to have little
They
to
got
no pressure on.
Storm Omni TB. If you're an EG fan, I think those are three cores you can get behind.
Okay, let's get some predictions. Alan.
EG.
AG, easy?
Not easy. It's Liquid, but
Okay.
I think this is a really great draft.
I'd say it's 70-30 EG.
Yeah.
70-30.
Yeah, I just think Wisp is just, it's going to be so hard for him to play. I mean, he's GH, he wants TI. We'll see what he can do.
That's my thoughts. Like GH Wisp, like I like Liquid's course. I think they actually are going to really pressure the lanes a lot. So I'm going to go Liquid this one.
Okay, all right. Well, I was expecting a clean sweep for EG there, but it's 2 for EG, 1 for Liquid as far as the panel are concerned, but they decide absolutely nothing. Instead, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 1.
There are few esports rivalries that stand the test of time than Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid. In Dota, EG, winners of the 5th iteration of the International, led by their captain Misery, who plays second at TI6 against Team Liquid. The reigning TI champs and the #1 team in the world right now, Blitz, we could not ask for a better semifinal.
Especially to represent themselves against Newbie. Both teams having history against that. Liquid obviously would like to continue that supremacy over Newbie. And for EG, Misery, you know they love to get him that second consecutive title here at ESL Genting.
You know, I really view ESL One Genting as sort of like the midterm. You know, like this is sort of the halfway point. As we lead into TI, we have a rush of tournaments ahead of us after this one, but this, I feel, will set the tone leading into TI.
You think so? I mean, DC won this one and some unfortunate moments.
We all had high hopes for you guys.
Thanks. But I think that these rosters especially are such historic teams when it comes to just not even Dota, but just esports in general. This rivalry dates all the way back to StarCraft, where, I mean, they were almost always just the two best Western teams.
Mm-hmm.
And now we let this conclude in Dota.
And now we've got some iconic heroes for both sides as well. I would say the obvious standout would be the GH Wisp.
Yep.
On the other side, Misery playing the Chen. He's definitely shown a lot of strength on this hero so far, and I do feel like it is one of the strongest supports of this patch right now. So, I don't know, the panel seem to be pretty heavily in the favor of EG. Kyle even so far as to say 70-30 to their favor. Do you agree with that assessment of the draft?
I think it's a little bit closer than you think, just because Storm, it's not easy to play into these heals. And if you took a screenshot of this, like going into the past year and showed that Arteezy was actually the one playing Storm on Evil Geniuses and Sumail was in the game, people would be really confused.
As a Storm Spirit expert, how did you rate Arteezy's performance on Storm Spirit compared to Samael's past performances?
I think it's a little bit different. They're both equally aggressive, but Arteezy really likes to farm.
Okay.
But I think he's kind of changed his playstyle.
Oh, it's a trap set up by Team Liquid, attempting to get the first blood here. Fortunately, Crit not stumble into that trap, and Team Liquid will set themselves up on the bounding runs.
But there's still influence from that DC squad, as Weehaw was actually the one that told Arteezy about this build on Storm Spirit. He said, this is a really good build. You can play very aggressively on this. And it allows them to scale not as hard on Storm Spirit, but at the same time, the early fights seem very pivotal for EG. They need this kind of core to create space, and I think that's going to be Arteezy this game.
So you think that's really going to be the determining factor here for this matchup in EG Liquid, is whether or not those early to mid-game team fights go well for EG?
Yeah, I think Arteezy has to do quite a bit right now, because for Liquid, I mean, if you have a Pugna core, you know exactly what you want to do. You want to try to overrun your overrun your opponents, take down these towers early on, pressure. Still a very good hero, though, against the Terrorblade, just because you insta-kill the illusions once you have Ags.
I can't imagine this is going to be a game where we're going to be seeing a whole lot of the classic Team Liquid split push, mostly out of maybe the Wisp and the Tiny. But other than that, this seems like a pretty aggressive teamfight focused lineup that looks to run over EG rather than play the longer game.
Yeah, I really like what Liquid have done, though. They've given themselves very advantageous lanes, with the exception of this mid lane. But we've seen time and time again the Matuma Man going to get sacked for the success of his other cores, as Sumail in this 1-on-2, this Tiny is going to do very nicely down here. And at the same time, up at top, Miracle going to have a free time against this Terrorblade.
A little bit surprised. Crit's actually coming over to this bottom lane. I'm not sure how much he's going to be help out Samael's Omni Knight against this Wisp Tiny. Looks like he's just going to go for the pull. That'll be definitely a safer option. Fear is going to have a hard time up against a Timber Saw. Obviously, melee versus melee. It's never fun playing against a Timber, but being an agility hero and having some pretty high base damage, it looks like he's going to do all right in CS to start.
Even more importantly than that, like, he's got very good move speed, so it's going to be hard for him to die. And I think Crit's making the right decision, just because it's a Timber. You're not going to contest this hero, so you might as well pull and get levels. And instead, it's going to be Crit that comes in with the, or Misery with the early harass on the Chen, as Miracle beating back a retreat, but just fine with all 5 stacks of reactive armor up. And meanwhile, up at bottom, Crit gonna get gone on here. Stun flies out. Mind control, though. No follow-up.
Yeah, they don't have the toss. Only level 2 on mind control so far. So just a bit of harassment, collecting the creep wave as well. The bigger camp was blocked by EG. They wanted to prevent the Wisp from being able to take advantage of that, so it's not like they had a pull through anyway to work with. Kuro's just hanging out in top lane. Looks like he's gonna try and match the Chen's movements as much as possible. Tries to contest the Arcane Rune, decides not to go for the attempt to deny. Instead, Arteezy can fill up his bottle. Oh, that is a tornado that's doing a good amount of damage. Certainly not enough to kill Miracle, but it will threaten his life. Force him to use a healing salve quite soon, I'm sure.
For a second there, it looked like he was going to run back into it, but Wild Wing Ripper. Tongue Twister there, as taking a look at mid lane. Looks like Storm is doing very well with the lead that he was given early on. And if you're Storm Spirit, being able to trade even, much less being ahead, quite nice for you.
Do you think Misery needs to worry about roaming too much on this Chen, or should he just focus on farming up a little bit more?
I think he should help top whenever he can with whatever creeps he gets, especially with the purple dude, but...
How much can he really help, though? Because it's a Timber Saw, you're going to have that reactive armor.
He's going to help this much as he goes up here. The nuke does so much damage, the reflection flies out too. Miracle doesn't have the Timber Chain.
That's a good amount, but they do have the Witch Doctor here. He's going to be able to get the Paralyzing Cask. Unfortunately, bounces over to the Creep Wave, but all in all, both teams will be fine. Just a bit of harassment onto Miracle.
Right now, both supports, not a whole lot for them to do here on both sides. As at bottom, of course, GH going to be attached at the hip to this Tiny, but Kuro doesn't feel like he can kill top.
Oh, they managed to snag GH here, but a great avalanche from Mind Control actually hits both of them. Smail continues to get some more harassment onto GH, actually missing out on that purification. They're going to try for a toss back into GH, dropping lower and lower, 3 more seconds, but he does have a huge magic stick, so Samael should be okay here. He's actually going to try and... Oh, no, his healing salve get canceled. There goes the Purification, tossed up in the air, and he's getting quite low now. Crit needs to be able to save Samael. Mind Control still going for it. He's just going to keep
Crit might be in trouble now.
Shadow Shaman. He's going to get the toss up in the air with a Wiz coming in soon. Tether in 2 seconds, but a Purification goes off. Crit will survive.
And mid, Matuma Man harassing back the Storm Spirit, who should just jungle at this point. Get your level 6, go back to base. He's got fully completed treads already.
Oh, Samael so low, but the Purification keeps him alive. The balls, though, GH is going to end up dying. No, he gets a heal off barely, but Crit gets him in the end. First blood goes to Crit first before Samael ends up dying to GH's Wisp.
And they're going to be very happy about that, as up at top, the creeps come in now. Miracle.
Yeah, they've got the double Satyrs with the Penitent. Still not enough to really go for the kill, though. Miracle standing his ground against Misery's Satyrs.
And not afraid at all, but Metamorphosis was popped, and he's got to be careful. This is a lot of nuke damage that can fly on both of these Penitents.
1, 2.
Again.
Yeah, look at that. Miracle. Gonna be running Shy on regen here. He's only got his magic wand.
Definitely just shrine up right now.
Yeah, they're heading to it.
As once again, Sumail at bottom lane, feels very comfortable. Has died early on, but still getting levels is the important thing as an Omni Knight.
So the Chen did stack up for RTZ. As a result, he clears through that, activates the shrine, is now level 6. Don't think he really needs to worry about affecting the side lanes too much, right? EG's got to be okay with the way the lanes are going.
Yeah. And at bottom, Sumail gonna get gone on. Instantly pops the heal. Doesn't have the repel quite yet. Reads the situation.
Just trying to get that soul ring, Matumba Man. Good amount of damage on RTZ.
Yeah, he wanted to pop the clarity so that you can't just jungle. Like, especially in this patch, it's very abusive. As Storm Spirit, you just constantly ferry yourself clarities and you just immediately jungle.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot that the enemy mid can do about that.
Especially on the Radiant side, right? Because you are so close to that one creep wave.
Yeah, if you notice, like, he brought himself another clarity and he should just pop it in jungle. This is probably the most common place here.
Barely snacks the Arcane Rune ahead of Crit. It's a great pickup for Pugna, that's for sure. But he's not getting the opportunity to really pressure that mid tower like most Pugnas like to be able to do.
Yeah, that's the benefit of having Storm. He can always just shove out the wave. It's hard to get on top of that. And these moments, though, where you go for the jungle is where the Pugna is going to start making some headway. And with an Arcane Rune, I think he wants to try to get aggressive on this. Going to be a good timing, too, as Arteezy's got to go back to base before he does anything.
Crit wrapping around here. Looks like they thought about going for GH, couldn't get close enough. It's been a relatively slow build-up for this very hype matchup. Blitz, when do you anticipate things to really start picking up pace? Who's going to make the first maneuver and leave the laning phase? I mean, it's 7 minutes in and no one's really rotated at all.
I'd imagine it'd be Liquid, and once Matuma Man takes this mid tower, which he does, we talked about how that's the benefit of when you're playing against these kinds of jungling mids. You can't just force them out.
That's going to open up the jungle quite a bit. You can see Matumba Man already making a rotation through. Looks like he's going to head to bottom lane here, see if they can take that safe lane tower as well. Runs into Crit. Does get a good amount of damage. Disable goes down, though. He stops the lapse, but he's still going to take a good amount of damage. Matumba Man just needs vision right now. Tries to duke it out. Not going to make it. Samael, low on mana, is now also in trouble here as he starts booking it to the side shop.
He doesn't have repel either, but Mind Control stops the retreat. Sumail a little bit too far, instantly pops his magic wand, wants to make sure if he gets stun control, doesn't have to wait that out. And it is Liquid that makes the first move. With Matuma Man taking that mid tower, he's immediately going to rotate down here. This should be a free tier 1. I think EG, though, should just go for smoke right now.
Yep, it's exactly what they're going to do. With their Chen and Shadow Shaman, they're going to try and threaten the only hero that they can really go for right now. They're showing 4 bottom, so they're going to go for the Solo Miracle top lane. He's only level 6, so doesn't have that maxed out armor just yet. But it's still going to be a tough kill.
Yeah, they got wards down. They want to get wards down too, though. And they're going to start going on him right now as Miracle.
There
He
goes the
notices the time.
Trocom, and oh, Crit not able to get that disable right away, and he's actually getting into the trees. This is trouble because this gives an opportunity for Liquid to be able to TP in with their supports, especially with GH. They can't go for that Timbersaw now, and it looks like EG, they are just on the losing side of all of these trades. They've lost their mid tower, their safe lane tower, have gained nothing in return, and Miracle is still sitting pretty safe in his lane and is keeping his farm up.
Yeah, he's going to be pretty happy about this. If you don't get the initial burst on a hero like Timber, very hard to take down, and nice jukes from him in the trees as GH is now waiting up here, anticipating the moves. Almost level 6 himself. As at bottom, Mind Control just continues to chuck trees at Sumail. Doesn't care too much. And now here comes the full rotation as Matama Man's up here now too. Doesn't want to get scouted out though. Isn't certain if there's a ward here.
And it's still important for those ganks to be successful, right? Because it's not like we have supports that rotate back very easily. We've got a Chen, who's probably one of the slower heroes to be able to rotate around the map, and a Shadow Shaman, almost equally slow.
Yeah. And right now, if you just look at the vision game, they don't really see too much of this top lane. And they confirm all the heroes on the map, but this mid lane, Misery made a very good rotation with the siege creep. Here comes Mind Control though.
Missed Avalanche. Toss back to Misery here. Mind Control is going to be in some trouble. They have the Witch Doctor TPing in. So they're going to give up on the attempt here, especially with GH making his way across. Paralyzing cast doing a good amount of work. Looks like they should be able to pick up that extra neutral creep.
They really want to try to defend this tower as long as possible and at the same time take top tower. And this is the kind of pressure that Liquid puts on that maybe the other teams in the tournament haven't quite done to EG. We haven't really seen EG pressured from the laning phase on. It's always been EG that's had a very successful laning phase going into the mid game.
Yeah, usually the worst thing that happens is that Fear has to deal with a rough lane, but otherwise they usually keep their towers for the most part. The other two cores usually farming really well. Usually Smail has a great matchup. Here, Liquid are favored in almost every single one of the matchups. It's just the Storm Spirit who stands a bit taller than the rest right now at 5,300 net worth.
Yeah, at the same time, a lot of that net worth lead does go into towers. When it comes to farm, everyone on Liquid does match up decently, but at the same time, EG not far behind at all. Very neutral game so far. Is
Initiation on a Miracle. This time they do snatch him up, but Matama Man is here, and he can also provide the heal if necessary. Instead, they're going to go for the Shadow Shaman. Easy pickup, Evil Geniuses. They just seem to be a little bit stymied here. They don't really know where else to go, so they keep on trying to go for this Timbersaw kill, and it's not working out. They're going to go for bottom lane now. Jump in from RTZ with a repel on top of him. Not much Mind Control can do. At the same time, Chen ends up going down. Back to bottom lane. Samael takes a good chunk of damage. All that burst magic damage is going to be enough. Gets a core kill. Remember, they win for that Wisp, and they traded Samael's Omni Knight. Again, another trade-off that just looks poor for EG.
Yeah, and at the same time, Miracle. I mean, going for this Timbersaw, who's got 20 stacks on him at all times, just seems so unfeasible. As Fear going to give him the right clicks, but Miracle stopping in place, understands you do nothing to me right now. And EG going to make their way up. They really want to punish this Timbersaw.
I don't know how they're going to do it, though. Because previously, they could at least say, okay, if we can kind of burst him down, it's going to take a certain amount of time for the Wisp to be able to TP in. But now they've got Relocate to worry about. So if they go on a Timbersaw, there could conceivably be a Relocate gank coming in from the Wisp Tiny. And if they've blown everything on a Timbersaw, I can't imagine that going well for EG.
Yeah, and right now it's quite scary as Mind Control has finished up his Blink Dagger. He's going to give the last hit to Matama Man as another tower gets claimed for Team Liquid. At top lane, though, Ward's going to spot RTZ. He's pinging like mad. He really wants something out of this.
Look at Miracle.
Spots
He's just
Miracle once
there.
again.
He's already got the reactive armor stack, so it's going to be a tough kill. They've got the paralyzing
There's the
cast. Good
death ward.
position. Miracle dropping lower and lower. Gets
It's so much damage.
Takes the Timbersaw. Miracle jumping away. RTZ desperately trying to finish him off, but the magic damage not enough. GH keeps him alive.
He's out of mana.
RTZ is completely out of mana. He's shot and he's down. Miracle. He baits Evil Geniuses and still manages to stay alive.
That was unbelievable. Kuro at the same time at that top just held that ground. Death Ward goes on for what feels like forever, and we just talked about how that Timbersaw was going to be so hard to bring down, and the Relocate play was there. It cost them nothing to do it. They had already taken that bottom tier 2 tower, so it didn't even slow their momentum. And IO not even going to get punished for that.
Burst damage, man. Terrorblade. He still had the Sunder, but burst from the Timber Saw was just too much for him.
And now that the Tiny has a Blink Dagger, he's
Oh.
constantly going to be on high alert.
He can one-shot so many of these heroes.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Especially if he has the helping hand of the Wisp. Give him the extra bit of nuke damage with the Spirits.
And up at top, Arteezy zips in.
Stops
the
gonna
pull.
pull back, but there is Matubba Man here, and he's gonna help out Miracle now. Pops out, kind of baits it. Now, Sumail is the one in trouble. He has to repel himself up. The repel's not gonna last long, though. And Miracle's still gonna go for the kill. Gets a good amount of damage. They need a little bit more. Tries to get the heal off, but surprise, the wand is still there. The Nether Ward takes him down, and now another tower may be dropping. Mid lane. Trying to go on mind control here. Managed to get the shackles up. The toss is there, though. Here comes
Here's
GH. Managed to get the heal, and mind control turns on Crit. Gets a good amount of damage to get the cleave of the Spirits. They managed to take down Shadow.
MC's got Blink.
Now a toss over to RTZ. They take him as well. Liquid are just non-stop destroying Evil Geniuses.
And every single one of EG's moves right now completely stymied as Miracle. They can't do anything about him at the top. He's just challenging them to go on him. And GH waited for so long for somebody to go on mind control. They just don't have the burst potential right now. And that's what we were talking about in Storm Spirit games. Yes, there's not a lot of stunts to go against him, but the Storm's going to overcommit with his mana. The heal's going to be there every time. And once you lose that burst potential from his initial expenditure in mana, he becomes so much weaker. And they just don't have the damage quite yet. They immediately ping for the high ground at 15 minutes in. EG has not felt this kind of pressure all throughout the tournament. Liquid.
Have they found the crack in Evil Genius's armor here? Have they found the way to be able to dismantle this tri-core strat that they've been running almost all tournament long? They've already brought the tower
Repel's
down
there.
so low. They are going to be able to get the repel, but GH is going to be able to help out Matubba Man. So again, Storm Spirit, just as you were talking about, he can't get anywhere close to bursting someone down, not even some of the squishier heroes in the back line, because there's always going to be a Wisp and a Witch Doctor that can provide the heals necessary. Flying Timber Saw, another jump forward by Arteezy with the send back from the Chen. They're just trying to get little bits of damage in so they can finally make a full-on commitment. Another TP back play from the Storm Spirit. Now they're low enough, maybe they can play for this one. Sumail trying to challenge, but gets stunned up. Death Ward gets the toss up, managed to get the chain stun enough to be able to bring him down. No heals come out. Arteezy trying to go for GH still. He's the one target that can be low enough, and he managed to force a relocate.
For the moment, they hold that as Fear. Sunder's out, but for the most part, everyone on Liquid relatively healthy. GH gonna come back with a full bottle. Liquid, so much heals on their side with the Witch Doctor at the same time, and here they come.
Another stun, Crit, he's already down. Arteezy has to jump away. He's far too low, and that means they're gonna give up that melee Rex. Oh, Crit. A little bit more.
Here doesn't have
There, he's
Sunder.
too much. Oh no, he didn't have the Sunder. The burst damage is just overwhelming. Evil Geniuses, they can't possibly stop this. He may be able to get one kill. Kuro, he still managed to get the paralyzing cast, bounce over to Sumail, and managed to get the combo stun with the avalanche, but finally Liquid will call the retreat with a buyback coming out from the Chen, and a full lane of racks taken by 17
control, he's
minutes
in this up.
All right, mind control's gonna go for it here. They managed to get off the ultimate from Sumail, but it's still something forced out of Evil Geniuses. A Guardian Angel down, 15-3, 13,000 gold lead. One whole lane of racks already gone. We haven't even reached the 20-minute marker.
And Liquid right now showing there are levels to this game. As EG, 13k hole, 17 minutes into the game. This kind of pressure. I mean, Liquid are setting a blistering pace. They have such tanky cores right now, and EG, they're just frustrated. How many times has Arteezy just full rolled in? It deals no damage. Everyone's healed to full at all times. Mind control setting up for this up at bottom.
Can he one-shot him?
There's the hit.
Arteezy does manage to get off the wand. That's definitely going to be needed here, as you can see how low he drops. Now he's going to try and kite around mind control, but GH is here. Careful of his spirits. They do have the purification.
Oh, he's
Mind
committing
control down
hard
to
for
half
this.
HP, but they manage to get the toss around. Repel goes down. They're going to be able to control mind control up. Sumail is desperately trying to focus on GH to make sure there's no extra assistance from him, and does manage to kill him before the TP out.
Very nice as Arteezy commits for that. He understands, I've got to do something. You can't allow Liquid to just march down one of your lanes again. It's something we haven't talked about. And a player who's often overlooked on the side of Liquid, Matubba Man, top of the net worth chart. by quite a margin. Already has the fully completed Aghanim Scepter.
And if he gets the BKB, I don't know what EG can do to stop him. It's not even like they have the hardest of initiation. They mostly just have Storm Spirit rolling in. They don't have a whole lot of disables to follow that one up. It's going to be tough for Crit to be able to get in position to follow up that initiation from the Storm.
Easy now going to start shoving out the side waves. He really needs this Orchid to be able to contest whoever comes to defend this. But that's why you have a Wisp at all times. If anybody gets gone on, GH already has a fully completed mech at just 19 minutes into the game. It's going to be quite difficult for anyone to go down on the side of Liquid, as now they're going to start their march again.
Gonna try to make his way into the trees, but a Spirit Ball pings him. They know where Crit is. They're going to be able to get that pick off.
Another Bloodstone charge for Miracle, as EG, they've got to do something now. They can't allow Liquid to just get on top of their tower once again. Arteezy, he's got to put pressure up on this top lane, or somebody's got to start cutting that bottom wave up. But Fear, he's been spotted. Here comes Mind Control and GH.
Relocate gank. They're going to look for the toss from Kuro. Oh, they actually thought Fear had tucked his way into the trees and gone for a TP out. But he just rushes through mid with the extra drums movement speed, gets away. So relocate blown, but Team Liquid still have a game plan of going for this bottom lane of Rax.
And Storm Spirit does finish the Orchid now. But how useful is that going to be as Liquid, 20 stacks on this Timber Saw. He's just beating away this tower slowly.
Between the Bloodstone as well as the Hum, they're going to be able to jump on Matama Man. That's a big kill if they can get it. He's silenced up as well. They're desperately trying to finish him up, but GH is keeping him alive. Now he can turn, gets off the drain onto Sunder. No, Fear. It doesn't go off in time. Fear again brought down another drain. This time it's going to be Chen who falls. A toss back on his mail. And Liquid, they've taken enough of Evil Geniuses down. They're going to go for the tier 3. Misery doesn't even know what to say at this point in time. What a toss into the drain as well. Arteezy is left alone against the tide of Team Liquid.
Everyone is still pretty much at full HP despite all of that. Mind Control tosses Miracle up in the air.
Every single time, there's like no damage being done. When the Storm Spirit jumps in, it's just so quickly. Oh, trying to grab Miracle there, stop at that TP. But they still can't even really go for this fight despite knowing that Liquid are down in numbers. They're going to be able to grab Matamba Man here. GH providing the heals, turn around, but they already got the repel onto Arteezy. He's low on mana though, so he's not going to be able to output a whole lot of damage, and that paralyzing cast being so disruptive causes a lot of issues for EG, so they're not able to pursue.
Yeah, and even with no Timber Saw there, Liquid, they simply just don't care. At this point, EG have represented, they just simply don't have the damage or the team fight.
Oh boy, Miracle just picked up a Talisman of Evasion, and he just picked up the level 15 extra 5 reactive armor stacks.
TZ doing another zip. Trying to do whatever he can to slow down this push, but once they seem to get on top of that tower, it doesn't seem to matter, and that's why they're going to go for the smoke. Their last desperation play.
Radiant's top tower is under
As Liquid go for their own smoke.
Wrapping around on the high ground here. Here comes the jump, going from Matamba Man. GH has tucked his way into the trees. He's going to be able to keep Matamba Man alive. They got the paralyzing cast on Arteezy. They're blowing up a lot of these heroes. Samael, he's going to end up going down here. A Miracle just slices him down. Ultra kill for Miracle, and Evil Geniuses call it.
22 minutes into the game. I mean, Liquid have a whopping 25 kills, more than one a minute. Absolutely dominant.
We hyped up this series saying these are two epic teams with a long history between them. But Team Liquid just said, there's a reason we're #1 in the world right now with a dominant smackdown on EG in game 1.
Wow. As